happy to welcome Father Manuel Clavijo to the program. First, Father Manuel, where were you born?
I was born in a small town in Colombia called Arbeláez, town nearby Bogota, which is the capital of Colombia. Probably 2 hours away from Bogota.
And what year was that? When's your birth year?
Many years ago. 30 years ago.
30 years ago.
30
okay.
years ago.
What was your hometown like?
Well, it was a small town. It was really a small town, no more than, I would say, 12,000 people in it. Very rural, mainly agricultural. You know, the downtown was very, very, very small. However, we always, come, especially on Sundays, to the town because it was the day to worship also, but the day where we sell our products and we do, our businesses.
What was the name of the church in the downtown area?
Immaculate Conception, Church of the Immaculate Conception.
And do you have any first memories of church or being at church or as a kid?
Well, that's interesting because I don't remember church, itself. I mean, my first time, the first memory I have is when a priest actually went to my home, and we have a small meeting space there where people from my town, the part of the town, come to celebrate Mass. That was the first time, and I remember that actually I dressed white, in white totally, white shirt, white pants, even white shoes. So because I wanted to look like an altar server. That's the first memory I have of meeting a priest personally and doing something related to the church.
This was a Mass in your home?
In my home.
For the neighborhood?
For the neighborhood, yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
Was it a Sunday Mass or weekday Mass?
Weekday Mass. Okay. Saturday, actually. Saturday, yes.
What a great memory to have.
Yeah, that's
Wait, did you eventually become an altar server at the Immaculate Conception?
Yes, at the Immaculate Conception after, yes. I think when I felt called to be a priest, my parents were very supportive. I mean, and they brought me to the church, and I was actually scheduled regularly, and I loved it. I really loved it.
When would you say you were the first time you thought about a vocation to the priesthood? What age would you be at that time?
It was very, very early. It was very early. It was when I was 7 years old. It's an interesting call. I was home, and I'm the youngest of 12. And obviously, usually the youngest is the ones who actually clean the dishes after everyone eats. And so Mom actually asked me to go to the kitchen and do the dishes. And in my way towards the kitchen, I stopped, and I felt something in my heart. And I didn't go to do what Mom told me to do, but I went back to her and I said, "Mom, I want to be a priest." And since that day, my parents, encouraged me and introduced me to the priest and the church, and since then I became very involved with the church and altar serving and doing other church things,
So what a moment. You remember the exact moment you said those words to your mother, and you were 7 years old.
Yeah, I remember many things, many details where Mom was seated and what she was wearing and things like that.
That's really remarkable.
Yeah, very nice.
And eventually, you make it, obviously, to this country, and for our good fortune, to the Diocese of Worcester. Maybe you could talk about... Well, first, let's talk about... did you finish high school in Colombia?
Yes, I finished high school. I finished high school in my hometown. I went to grammar school in my hometown, high school in my hometown. But what is interesting, Colombia, I think we have been blessed by being a Catholic country for many years. And even though, despite, many... difficulty that we have gone through, but even though I went to high school, we wore uniforms and we worshiped the Lord in our schools even back then. So it was like going through Catholic school. But yes, I finished high school in my hometown.
And what country did you go to college in? The United States or Colombia?
Colombia, yes. 3 years of philosophy and then 4 years of theology and then I came here to the States.
So was that a seminary or a college?
Yes, kind of college seminary type of things. We call it actually like minor seminary, but minor seminary is basically more like type of high school. But I went to what we called in Colombia seminary for 3 years of philosophy, and that included the propedeutic year. And then I took a year off, and then I went to study now university in Medellin.
Okay. And then the trip north.
Yes.
What occasioned that? Why did you come north?
Well, I believe, since I began to think about this, I had the opportunity to meet many missionaries, in Colombia, and also they probably planted the seed, to go outside of Colombia and minister to the people, and also some priests invited me here. I have a friend who actually came here earlier, Father Gomez, and he invited me to come over, and also some situations in my local diocese that really impacted my life, so make me come over here to minister to people. And I knew the reality of the diocese because a priest came here and actually he encouraged me to come over and be part of this diocese.
How was your English when you arrived?
Horrible. Worse.
Another challenge.
Yes.
Introduced to a new culture and a new diocese, and also having to learn English.
It was interesting. I came to this country with no English. I mean, I didn't speak any word of English when I came here. However, I think I received this strength from God to face this new challenge in my life, and I learned English, and at least to communicate what I feel and what I believe. And I went to Clark University for a year. I left at St. Peter's Church, and if you understand Monsignor Scola when he speaks, I mean, you really are. It's a good sign that you're learning. That you're learning. So
he doesn't pronounce every single word.
No, so I think I was very blessed by being at Clara, being with Monsignor Scola, because he really, challenged my my English learning. Yeah.
Okay. And I remember from those years you also played some soccer while you were during that year of learning English.
Yes. That's a very interesting thing, Farjin, what you said, because it helped me a lot, to get, familiar with some new vocabulary. And I met students from Clark University, and they really were very, very open to and patient, So, and I play soccer. I love to play soccer. I think it's the greatest sport ever, after football. Okay, after football. And
where'd you go to seminary?
Seminary, I went to St. Mary's Seminary University in Baltimore. Spent 2 years there, and I have to say that they were the 2 best years in my formation process. Being a foreign student and coming to a new institution, I felt very welcomed by the faculty and by my classmates, and I really made good friends. And I learned a lot. I finished my master on divinities there, and after 2 years,
That was just a 2-year program.
Just 2 years
because
program.
of the amount of time you did in Colombia in terms of your education there.
In terms of education, yes. I have my bachelor in philosophy and my bachelor in theology, so I just needed. I will say an American degree, to continue my.
Now, I remember both your diaconate ordination and your priestly ordination. I think it was your diaconate ordination that your parents came up from Colombia?
My parents came. We had the blessing to be with them here, and I'm very, very blessed that they could make it. And it was beautiful because, I think, Farajim, that the first seminary should be your own family. And probably we really encourage families when you see that one of your kids want to be a priest. We really encourage you to encourage him, because that's what I experienced in my case, in my life. My parents really encouraged me, and it was so great to share that beautiful ceremony and time of my life with them, who were the first people who nourished my vocation.
What do you remember about your ordination day? Anything particular that stands out, or your first Mass even? Any particular highlight? The whole thing is a highlight, I know.
I mean, it's so beautiful. I mean, it's absolutely beautiful. I enjoyed it so much. I was smiling and laughing all the time because I felt that God has blessed me so much, and that was like the apex. I mean, of my life. Well, I remember that my first math, that it was a hot day, that even my eyes were sweating. I was crying of happiness. And I almost couldn't start math that day because I was speechless. Yeah.
We're going to have to wrap it up now. Unfortunately, our 10 minutes are up. You're first of Simon of St. Mary's in Shrewsbury. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, so that's where you're at now.
Yes.
Good. Okay.
I'm very, very happy to be with you today.
They're happy to have you there too.